3. Star Trek Voyager Season 1 episodes you can completely skip. Star Trek Voyager launched with a bold premise and high expectations. A Starfleet crew, stranded 70,000 light-years from home, must work together with a rebellious band of Maquis to make the long journey back to the Alpha Quadrant. The setup promised drama, exploration, and the reinvention of Star Trek for the 1990s. And while Voyager Season 1 certainly had moments of brilliance, Caretaker was an ambitious pilot, and Eye of the Needle still holds up today. Not every episode hit warp speed. In fact, a few episodes felt more like space debris than warp core gold. Let's be honest, watching Voyager Season 1 today is an exercise in patience. The show was still trying to find its voice, and occasionally that led to filler plots, awkward character development, or recycled sci-fi tropes that never quite engaged. And when you're doing a rewatch, or maybe introducing a friend to the Delta Quadrant, you don't need to slog through episodes that don't contribute to the overarching narrative or the emotional development of the crew. So grab your tricorder and adjust your holodeck filters, because here are 3 Star Trek Voyager Season 1 episodes you can completely skip without missing anything essential to the story or the spirit of the show. 1. Time and Again Episode 4. The one where Janeway and Paris go back in time and nobody cares. From the title, Time and Again sounds like the kind of mind-bending temporal puzzle Trek fans live for. Time travel. Paradoxes. Maybe a moral dilemma about interfering with alien civilizations. Unfortunately, the episode falls flat in nearly every category. The plot begins when Voyager detects a catastrophic explosion on a nearby planet and investigates, only to find a mysterious rift that sends Captain Janeway and Tom Paris a day into the past, just before the disaster happens. It's the kind of setup that could have made for tense, character-driven drama. Instead, what we get is a forgettable trip through time with very little at stake emotionally or narratively. What's missing? For one, there's no real consequence to any of the choices made. Janeway and Paris don't experience growth, the alien culture remains underdeveloped, and the ultimate reset button is hit when the timeline corrects itself and the disaster is averted, meaning it essentially never happened. It's like a dream within a dream that no one remembers, and worse, no one cares to. Even worse, this is only the 4th episode of the series. Instead of deepening our understanding of the characters or raising the stakes of their long journey home, Time Again feels like an early attempt to do a Trek episode by the numbers. It leans heavily on technobabble without the emotional grounding of better time travel stories like TNG's Yesterday's Enterprise or DS9's Past Tense. You can skip this one without regret, and your brain will thank you for avoiding the headache of untangled timelines that never mattered. 2. Cathexis, Episode 12, the one with the energy being possession plot that's 90% confusion and 10% payoff. If you've seen more than one Star Trek series, odds are you've encountered the possessed crew member trope. Someone starts acting strangely, lights flicker, and eventually the crew realizes an alien consciousness is at play. Cathexis is Voyager's first real attempt at this storyline, and it unfortunately fumbles it. The episode begins with Chakotay injured during a shuttle mission, leaving him brain dead, but somehow his neural energy survives. Soon after, mysterious things start happening aboard Voyager. Bridge controls change on their own, crew members make odd decisions, and suspicion builds. The crew deduces that a disembodied alien is possessing people at random, standard Trek fare. Here's the problem. The episode spends so much time on red herrings and shadowy misdirections that it forgets to make us care. Characters are mostly pawns in the plot. There's no real suspense because the pacing is glacial and the mystery lacks emotional stakes. By the time the truth is revealed that Chakotay's consciousness is fighting off another alien invader, you're more relieved that it's over than you are surprised. In theory, Cathexis could have explored fascinating territory. The idea of Chakotay using his spiritual beliefs to navigate an out-of-body state sounds like a solid character episode. Instead, his Native American heritage is treated more as window dressing than substance. The writers barely scratch the surface of his character, and his possession of crewmates is more confusing than compelling. If you skip Cathexis, you won't miss any major plot points or character arcs. And given how rarely the events are referenced again, it's safe to assume the writers wanted to forget it too. 3. Emanations, Episode 9, the one with the afterlife debate that misses the point entirely. Star Trek has never shied away from philosophical questions. From TNG's The Measure of a Man to DS9's explorations of faith, Trek has offered nuanced takes on the mysteries of life and existence. So when Emanations comes along, an episode tackling death, the afterlife, and cultural beliefs, you expect something deep, even profound. Unfortunately, what we get is a muddled episode that doesn't quite know what it's trying to say. When Harry Kim gets pulled into an alien subspace chamber, he wakes up on a world where the local species believes that the afterlife begins with a ritualistic death. But Kim's sudden appearance throws their entire belief system into chaos. Meanwhile, back on Voyager, a dead alien body appears aboard the ship, leading to another round of "we accidentally desecrated someone's sacred ritual" drama. The premise is promising, but the execution is clumsy. The episode doesn't do justice to either side of the debate. It tries to be about honoring cultural beliefs and respecting the unknown, but ends up reducing the aliens' entire religion to a sci-fi error. Worse, Harry Kim, who's supposed to be the emotional core of the story, spends most of it reacting passively to events, rather than experiencing genuine development. This episode had the opportunity to elevate Harry as a character. Instead, he remains a blank slate. And once everything is reset, we never see any lasting effects on him or the alien civilization. It's a standalone that doesn't stand for much. You won't lose any key continuity or insight by skipping Emanations. And if you're looking for thoughtful Trek takes on life and death, you'll find far better examples elsewhere. Why skipping episodes doesn't hurt the Trek experience? You might feel guilty skipping episodes. After all, Trek fans are often completists. But here's the thing. Voyager's first season is very much a show in progress. Its tone shifts from episode to episode, and many of the characters, especially Chakotay, Kim, and Neelix, don't get fully fleshed out until much later, if at all. Skipping a few weak links doesn't make you any less of a fan. In fact, it can deepen your appreciation for the episodes that truly shine. Instead of slogging through Cathexis, you could jump to Eye of the Needle, which introduces one of the series' most emotional dilemmas. Instead of Time and Again, why not revisit Prime Factors, which offers a tantalizing look at the ethical compromises the crew might make to get home? The truth is, Trek has always been about exploration. And sometimes that means knowing when to beam away from an episode that doesn't work. Honorable mentions, more skippable moments. While the 3 episodes above top the skip list, Season 1 has a few other duds worth mentioning. Ex post facto, a dull noir murder mystery with Paris as the fall guy. Think 12 Angry Men M.